and welcome back. As you can hear and see, trains running in the background. I hope they're not too distracting. I finally resolved the issues with the GT and with the track, and I'll explain what I've done a little bit later. Very pleased with this week's progress, although I did make a rather newbie error early on, and I'll explain that too. So, on with the video. So what I've done this week is I've moved the point for a start. It was originally here, and I've moved it back by a point's length. There's several reasons for that. The main one was the station. I need a level crossing about here, which limits the length of the station. So I wanted the platforms to come that a little bit further. But on top of that, with it here, it was quite close to the opposite station building. With it just being that little bit further back, I can get around this corner no problem, but I can also add a road coming down here where I can pull the loco and coaches, decouple the loco, and then have a reversing loop behind it coming out and back onto the track, as well as the other roads for the maintenance yard. The other thing I've done is I've renewed this piece of track here on the outside loop. That joint there was awful, so I've completely redone that, and the trains run over it really smoothly now. I don't have any problems with the point at all. That's working as expected, and in fact the whole lot of the track now is very smooth. I'm very pleased with it. I need to obviously fill in all the sections now with sleepers, and then do some ballasting. And I've just been having a bit of a practice with the ballasting. This hasn't been glued down at all, so just been having a bit of a practice with that. I got this little ballast tool just to aid me. So very shortly, once I've got the sleepers in, I'll be able to ballast now. And that will make it look a whole lot better before I start doing anything else. I've also been sort of working out some ideas for the town, and if I come down, that gives you a better view of the town, although the buildings aren't where they need to be. Obviously the station will be a bit higher once the buildings are on the platform. The church will go at the back there somewhere. Around here will be a market square with a cenotaph in the middle, some shops around it. Not exactly sure how it's going to work yet, and then we'll see where we go. But it's well on the way, and it's nice to finally be running trains without any issues, so I can get on with the rest of the track now. So if you remember from last week, I was having problems with this Ginty going over the point, and I decided that it must be something to do with the wheels. So I bought myself a back-to-back tool, and there it is. I didn't have a lot of success early on. to explain that, I'll just take the bottom off the ginty. I must make myself a little jig to put the train upside down, but for now a soft cloth is working for me. So on the ginty, this will be easy for those of you who have done a few, but for me it was completely new territory, and I hope this helps somebody out there. The bottom comes off, and if you can see there, it's difficult just to get it to focus, but there are some little curved sections which help hold the wheels in place. So once the bottom's off, you're left with this, which is the 3 axles. You can see the wheels, and then behind the wheels, and they move, and you can see these little brass bushes, and they fit on the wheel hubs. They're circular in the middle to allow the wheel to rotate. They're square on the outside with a little round bit on the outside, which drops into these slots here. So you can actually take those out. I'm not going to do it, but you can take that out as a complete unit to clean and do whatever. Now my problem was that trying to get this in, I couldn't get it in between the wheels. So I took this out, set all the wheels, put it back, and then ran the loco. And as the loco went along, it was doing this. Sorry, it's really difficult on the camera doing that. Going up and down, front to back. So I thought, oh Lord, I've made it even worse. But what it was, and it's quite a newbie error, and it's not an error I'll make again. But what I was doing was, in order to, and you know what's coming, some of you, in order to widen the wheels, I was rotating them in opposite directions. So what happened was, as I was rotating them in opposite directions, the axles, the conrods weren't lined up. So that's the reason it was doing this, because they weren't lined up. Once I lined those up and started again, I found it much easier. The other thing I managed to do was break one of my connectors, but I only need one. I can always get another if I need it. I'll just put that back together. So in the end, I probably took this apart about 10 times. And the reason I broke the connector was that when I put it all back together again, it was low and it was just letting go of the carriages. So I was trying to bend it. What I should have done was take it off and heat it a little bit, and I didn't. And this still hangs down a little low at times. It's okay at the moment, as you can see, but it does drop down. But it seems to be working okay at the moment. You can see the conrods there on the side are a nice level. They're both at the same height, and the loco runs really well. So a newbie error, but I was able to rectify it, and that's the main thing. And I learnt an awful lot about doing this. I wouldn't have had that issue on a diesel loco or on a carriage, of course, because you haven't got the connecting rods. But on the steam, it made a huge difference. So hopefully that'll help somebody along the way sometime. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Rather silly mistake to make with the Ginty, but it's my first time playing around with it. Didn't think about it. Know much better now. Learned a lot through the experience, and it's been fun in a sort of way. It's been good to learn some more about the logo and about setting things up. As you can hear, things are running perfectly smoothly now. I'm having no problems at all. Just like to take a moment to thank my subscribers. You've stuck with me even though, in fact again, even though I haven't done a video for a while. My apologies for that. Videos should be a little more regular now as I start to do scenery, etc. There's still some work to do. I'll get the track finished and get that ballasted, then I can start doing scenery work. So I'm looking forward to that. So until the next time, thanks very much for watching, and bye for now.